Well, good morning everybody. I know it's been a while since I've put a video out, but I've had a bit of a rest, but I've also had a lot of other stuff going on as well. And then when I decided to try to make a video again, it's been pouring down with rain for about a week and a half. Absolutely horrendous winds, so it's not been the weather for it either. But we have got a bit better day today, thank goodness. Oh, I'm out of breath. I've been running about and doing odd jobs. I've cut the lawn and all that sort of thing, as you can see. But what I'm doing at the minute is draining the pond down. I'm going to drain it down and do a big water change on it. Things just still aren't 100% right, and I can't put my finger on it. The fish, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I can't find anything on them, but they're just not what they should be. So I'm going to do a massive water change and see how we get on. Hope the wind's not bothering us too much. Let me come down this end, because it is a bit of a pain still. It was horrendous yesterday. I was cleaning up a yard full of leaves today. Oh yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do is drain it down about a foot and then top it back up again. A good foot, probably more. I want to sort this out, because I've been about and doing things. They're all up and about, but they're just not as lively as they should be. That is a fact. They're not eating like they should be at this time of year. But then again, the pond temp's not up, I suppose. We're 19, I think we're at the moment, in August, start of August. But what can you do about it? Not a lot, so there's no point in going on about it. But yeah, that's what I'm at the moment. Just getting it drained down. I'm going to take about a foot out and then top it back up again. See if that makes any difference. But just me being about's livened them up. And we do keep getting a bit of that sun. It's lovely here. Hey ho. Right, press on. Catch you guys in a bit. Okay. A bit of time's gone by there. I forgot to get the camera out, but never mind. We're topping back up again. I've just got the hose just spraying a little bit in. The majority of it's going in the filter house through the dechlorinator. But I have dechlorinated the water, so it shouldn't be too bad. So we'll see if this does any good. What I want to do as well is get my salt level down. As you all know, there's some treatments you can't treat your pond with if you're running salt. So I want to take the salt out of it now. If it's done any good, it's done it by now. It's just a matter now of waiting until it all tops back up again. Had a couple of lilies this year, lily flowers. Well, I've had 3 or 4 actually. There's 2 or more coming there, I see. While that's drained down, I'm just going to go across and give the skimmer mouth a good clean out and anything else I can see. But a lovely day here today. The sun keeps coming and going. Not brilliant, but we'll take that. I also want to get, there's a big branch on top of that bush there. I want to chop that back, cut that off. I don't want that. My fern's growing, but not as well as I thought it would. I thought it had been a lot taller than that by now, but hey ho, it is what it is. Down there, I mean, everything's gone well this year, and growing well. Quite pleased with it. We've just got to get the furniture under the garden room sorted out. We haven't got around to that yet. We've got to de-cobweb it as well. Bloody cobwebs, spiders drive you mental. Cobwebs everywhere. Okay, we'll leave it, let that get topped up, and I'll be back with you guys. See you in a bit. Well, as you can see, I've got my fence on now. It's getting towards tea time. I don't know whether I mentioned it or whether it was in my last video, to be quite honest, but we have painted the fence grey now, as you can see, but I'm not sure whether that was in my last video or not, so I thought I'd just mention it. And also, just to show you that I haven't been sat about doing absolutely nothing at all, if we have a quick look here, a lot of you guys will remember my fence doesn't lean over anymore. I've managed to get the 2 posts done. Now that was hard work. I didn't enjoy that at all. I'm getting too old for that sort of stuff, but I did manage to get it done. So we've got all the fence done grey now, and my posts aren't broken anymore. Well pleased about that. Bloody horrible job that was, I must admit. But yeah, got all that done. And up here, this is the front of the house, and up here there was a load of horrible bushes in here that I had to trim twice a year at least, bloody great things. I've actually got all them dug up, and I'm now going to gravel over this, the same as the drive, the blue gravel. I'm now going to do all this in the blue gravel. The trouble is, if you notice along the bottom here where the rain's been hitting and splashing up it, because there's nothing there, just the dirt, it's messing the fencing up. So I want to get that done as soon as I can, get all the well, it's not gravel, it's chippings, isn't it? Get all the chippings on here, get that done, and that'll be a lot better. Be quite pleased with that. Yeah, here's my old cat, look. Bless her. Yeah, lazy git. There you go, guys. That's what it's like up to yet, and now we're into the sun, so you probably can't see anything at all because it's low in the sky now. Well, hello again, boys and girls, and here we are, drain down number 2. Major water change again, doing another big one. So I've got to get rid of this salt. I've gone from 0.3, I'm down to 0.17, and now I've got to get it down even more, so I'm going to change very nearly half of my water, not quite 50%. I'm down about just over a foot now, so I shan't be taking too much more out. We'll get it down, and I've had to shut all my filters down because I'm too low now to feed the actual sieve filter. But yeah, another water change on the way. All I've got to do then is top it back up, but I don't want it off too long because obviously my back of shower's stopped, so as soon as I can get it topped up back up again, the better. So I'll press on. I have actually cleaned my sieve out, done all the mesh on that. As you can see, I've got my pressure washer out, so I've pressure washed all the mesh off in there, so that's ready to go again. I've just got to put the 90 back on it, and that's ready to go. So I'll be back soon. Right, well, here in the filter house I've just made another litre of dechlorinator, because I should run from the hose as well as through them dechlorinators, but they still let chlorine through, so you've got to be careful. They'll still let a bit of chlorine through, plus they're getting on a bit, I think, and filters in there. So I'm going to dechlorinate anyway, make sure I've dechlorinated enough so that I can just bung it straight from the hose and straight from here. It does actually go, I open this side up, which is the trickle, and that then tops the pond up, save me keep pressing and opening the solenoid valve. So that's constant, that one, when I switch it on. So we're nearly about at the level I want. So what I'm going to do now is switch it off, switch it off, and then start filling back up again. Back in a bit. Well, we're going well on the refill. We've got about another 9 inches to go, but we're going well. I've got the pump running slower. Obviously, if the water level drops, the through flow is not quite as strong. So I'm running at about 60% on the pump, which is keeping the system running, which is quite good. So the refill is underway and going well on this beautiful day. Lovely and sunny here today, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, all this to get rid of salt. Be careful if you put it in. I did want to put it in because that PP at the time did frighten me a bit first time I'd ever used it, so I didn't want the fish upset by it, so I put salt in, which obviously calms them down, relaxes them a lot more, and also restores their flying coat. So we're over that now, and I want rid of the salt, which is a bit of a pain in the arse getting rid of it, to be honest. So I'm hoping this will take me down to about 0.1%. But we'll see how things go. We'll give it a day or so, and then I'll check it for salinity. So back soon. Well, boys and girls, it's about 8 o'clock at night now. The wind's getting up, and it looks like it's going to rain any minute. It's been a beautiful day, but it's certainly getting a bit restless at the moment. I really must get that bit of fencing over there done. I've got to sort that out. I've got to think of something to keep herons off there. But yeah, we're all done, all topped back up. They're all loving it. They're loving the fresh water. That is a fact. Well lively. They look different fish. So we'll see how things go now. I'll catch you guys later. Well, good morning. What I'm hoping to do today is, because I've had this shower in about a year or more now, and the bottom one is not like the rest, the water just falls straight through, so the dirt will fall straight through as well. The bottom one doesn't. I've got a pipe runs along the bottom of that with slots in it, how it picks the water up from there to return it back to the pond. So what I want to do is take these top 2 tiers off, and I'm going to have a look at the bottom, see how much dirt settled in there. I'm hoping there's not going to be a lot because it's after the upflow filter, so I'm hoping that's taken pretty much quite a lot of it out. But as that one is sort of, the water has to flow out of that and it could collect dirt, whereas the other 2 can't, I'm going to drop, like I say, drop these top 2 off, and then we'll have a look at the bottom one, see what dirt's in there. So I'll get them off and then we'll have a look. Okay, that's the top 2 tiers off. So now I'm going to get a bucket, take some of this media out and just inspect it and see how or what sort of dirt we've got in the bottom. So I'll get a bucket and get this out. Well chaps, I've got the media out of one section, and looking in here, I can't believe it. It's really clean in there. There's no dirt whatsoever. There's nothing, as you can see, in the bottom there. It's as clean as a whistle. Oh, I'm well pleased about that. What I'm going to do now is I shall just put this bucketful back in there and take that out and have a look at this end just to make sure everything's okay. But yeah, I don't believe it. It is absolutely, I hope you guys can see in there, it's as clean as a whistle down there. There's nothing. This is the pipe I've got running from one end to the other, and underneath it's got about 3 or 4 mil slots in it so that the water can pass through it freely, but there's absolutely nothing this end at all. So we'll have the rest out and see if we can see if there's anything in the other end. But really pleased with that. Okay, well, that's another bucket out, and this is the other end, and it's, as you can see, as clean as a whistle down there. I can't believe it. That is really clean down there. I'm well impressed. What I have noticed is there's like a lot of sand, gritty stuff, and I think it's, let me just get a bit, it's all coming off this stuff. It's, I don't know, but if you touch it, it's just full of grit and sand in there, feeling. Whether that's going to start breaking down or not, I don't know. None of it actually has, but it's very gritty and that in there. But oh, well pleased. That's brilliant. I'll get this back together and get it back up and running quick as I can before I lose too much bacteria. So see you in a bit, but well pleased with that. And there we go, all back up and running. Thank goodness it didn't take long, that way I haven't lost too much bacteria with it. Not getting a feed of water for about half hour, but half hour's not bad. Shouldn't have lost too much at all, but I was well pleased with how clean it was down the bottom. Unbelievable, really clean down there, as clean as the top basically. But yeah, great stuff, well pleased with that. Well, once again, good morning everybody. Not a brilliant day here today, really overcast. We keep getting a flicker of sunshine, but not for long. But oh dear, this has to be the worst season I've ever had as far as keeping my koi goes. It's been a nightmare, and it's still not over, I don't think, but we're making headway. The flicking has really slowed down. There's hardly any now. Oh dear, they've just had 2 more doses of FMG. As you saw earlier in the video, I took my backy shower to pieces to see if there was any untoward dirt in there, and there was none. I've purged my bottom drain, nothing came through it. I've cleaned the skimmer, not a lot in that at all, and the sea filter's fine. So I don't know, things are a little bit better, but I tell you, it's took its toll on me this season. God dear. I had my first koi pond at the age of 21 and I'm now 71. I have had breaks in between obviously, but you think you know enough to pretty much get you through anything that could happen in this game, and all of a sudden, wow, I've had a terrible time. I've never known anything like it in all my years of koi keeping. I've never known anything like it. But what do? You can only do what you think. I mean, I have lost a couple, like you saw. I lost that Sankey. He was just swollen up one side, something terrible. I've lost one to swim bladder. Couldn't save him, salt wouldn't do anything with it. But mind you, there's sometimes you can't. That's all I have lost, thank goodness. It's not nice losing them, but could have got a lot worse. But as you can see, they're a lot calmer, they're moving about nicely. Now Chunky gave me a fright. He came up this end. Here he is, bless him. Big Kaku. He came up this end and was on the bottom. Didn't want to move, didn't want to do anything. Just went into like a sulk on the bottom. His fins weren't clamped, that was the thing. He was just sitting on the bottom doing nothing. And he had 3 or 4 days, 5 days probably, like that. But as you can see, he's now back after the 2nd dose of FMG. He's back moving about and swimming round, thank God. I don't know what I'd have done if I'd lost him. But what is it? I can't find anything on the scrapes. My water parameters are spot on. I don't know. Where do you go next, if anything else? If I haven't got it, like you've seen, I've done some massive water changes, which seems to have helped. I've checked my top-up water for nitrates, there's nothing in it. Nitrites, there's nothing in it. So it's not the water I'm putting in on my water changes. But as you can see, a lot better. We've been watching them for what, 5 minutes now, and nobody's had a flick, thank God. So we seem to be getting there. I never want another season like this again. I've never known anything like it. When I first started keeping koi, we had in-pond gravel filters. I mean, the dirt you strained through the gravel, you didn't clean them out. You only clean them out once a year, so there was constant dirt in the pond all the time. They worked just like the aquarium filters used to, where they suck the dirt down through the gravel, and then the bacteria and that ate it. But that was all in pond. I mean, now we worry if we get a little bit of dirt in a pipe or in a filter somewhere and have to keep them clean. It was so simple then. We used to be very friendly with a local chemist, and he used to sell us a tub of penicillin powder, and if we got anything wrong with the koi, we used to put that on. If it was an ulcer or an abscess or whatever, we used to put that, mix the powder up, paste that on it, and then seal it with, I forget what you call it now. Used to seal it there anyway. It used to stay there for a day or so, but that used to sort them out. We used to put it in bread, roll it in bread, and feed them brown bread with it in the middle of it, and that used to sort them out. But I mean, you can't buy it now. Nobody will sell you that now. It's against the law anyway, but that's what we used to do years ago. But we never used it a lot. This was the thing. We hardly used it. But nowadays, wow. I mean, that poor old Orf, you're supposed to be very careful with that FMG treatment as far as Orf and that sort of thing are concerned. And he's gone through it all and he's fine, bless him. But I'm not saying yours will be. I'm just saying that he's an old boy. He's 14-year-old and he's gone through it fine. But I think he's used to it. Or he's getting used to it, that is a fact. But yeah, everything seems fine at the moment. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping we've cracked it. And old Chunky, bless him, he's back up and moving round the pond with the others. He got really frightened and I don't know what I'd do if I lost him. But yeah, what a summer. And I know there's a lot of other people had the same problem, it's not just me. I'm just saying, it is the worst pond season I've had in all my years of keeping koi. You think you know enough to get you by, there's always something new comes along. But anyway guys, I'm going to call that it for this one. So all it leaves me to say is you all take care. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy ponding.